But why?
It's an O'Brien survival technique.
So, did you look?
What do you want?
Yes, I can.
This is ridiculous.
It sure is. Oh, wait. Kapla! Hello and good evening, everybody. It is Saturday, February 19th, 2022, and Happy New Year if you've only been following along on the Live Long and Podcast Radio Theory series. As we are kicking off our third season tonight. This is our 46th episode overall of Star Trek Radio Theater. As we start this new year, we are doing Looking for Parmok in all the wrong places tonight from D Space Nine's fifth season. Originally aired October 14th, 1996. It's 2373 in terms of Star Trek years. And this is a great script written by Ronald D. Moore, one of my all-time favorites. We got a great cast here of the Live Long and Podcasters to bring this down. Congratulations to Michael and Jessica on the birth of baby Gus, who's also with us tonight. And we also have, we don't have Jeff Mader with us tonight, but, Jeff, my brother, and his wife-to-be, Amanda, just had their baby, my new niece, Prudence. And so very excited for them. And congratulations to all the new babies out there. And Kira, who Jessica's playing tonight, is pregnant in this episode. So there's babies on the mind. All kinds of things, right, Jane? Yep. Okay. So I'll introduce the whole cast and everything sort of after the show, and who be able to just kind of follow along once we come off screen here, and we'll start into the show. We hope you enjoy it, and you'll be able to listen to the edited version after the fact, and probably a couple weeks before episode 2 is recorded. Okay, so with that, let's bring up our read and start this off. Okay, everybody, exciting. Let's do it. And
we focus on the habitat ring corridor. Bashir is walking along the corridor and hears arguing coming from the O'Brien's quarters. He stops to eavesdrop.
How dare you?
Quark comes around a corner and catches him.
Doctor?
Oh, hello, Quark.
Bashir attempts to play it off by pretending he has a sore neck.
Let me guess. Eavesdropping on the battling O'Briens?
Don't be ridiculous, boyish smile.
Such language. I hope Molly's not around.
You can hear what they're saying in there?
How could I not?
What are they saying?
Let's use a little discretion, shall we? He's done something. She's outraged. He thinks she's overreacting. She thinks he's trying to run her life. Pretty boring, actually. But to hear them, you'd think it was a matter of life and death.
Suddenly, Keiko comes down the hallway, catching Bashir listening in at the door. She looks smug and slightly amused.
Hello, Julian.
Oh, hello, bedroom eyes.
Quark.
Miss O'Brien?
Keiko goes into her quarters.
I thought you said the O'Briens were arguing in there.
Not Miles and Keiko. The other O'Briens, Miles and Kira.
What do they have to argue about?
Miles hid Kira's spring ball racket because she's carrying his baby and he doesn't want her taking any risks. And she doesn't want him controlling her.
Quark pauses, listening.
What?
Keiko made them stop. Now they're in the let's talk this out and share our feelings part of the fight. Show's over.
Quark and Bashir are disappointed.
Oh, well, I mean, good.
We focus on the Reclamat. Worf is sitting at a table, having a conversation with Dax.
It is the power of his voice, the strength of his intonation that make Barack Kadan a great singer. There are none like him.
None is boring anyway. He never varies his performance, even by a half tone.
I prefer traditional opera performed in the traditional manner.
You know, for a Klingon who's raised by humans, wears a Starfleet uniform, and drinks prune juice, you're pretty attached to tradition. But that's okay. I like a man riddled with contradictions.
The airlock opens and 3 Klingons step out. One of them is Grilka, from the House of Grilka. Worf is mesmerized. Dax turns to see what Worf is looking at.
That's a welcome sight. The peace talks must be going well if the Klingons are back at the station.
Worf gets up and starts to walk away from the table while Dax is still talking. So rude.
Worf?
Did you see her?
The Klingon woman?
She was glorious.
Worf continues to walk away, as if in a trance, oblivious to the fact that Dax is even there. We focus on Quark's bar. Grilka and her entourage enter and sit down at a table. Worf watches them from the doorway. Dax catches up.
Her? She's okay.
I have never seen such a woman. Who is she? What house is she from? I do not recognize her family crest.
Grilka goes over to Quark. He raises his tray in front of him as she goes for her dagger. They smile and embrace. Worf is appalled.
She is friend of a Ferengi.
Now I remember who she is. Her name is Grilka. And she's not just Quark's friend. She's his ex-wife.
We focus on Quark's bar. Quark brings 2 glasses over to Grilka's table.
Maparian ale with just a hint of pacifier, as I recall.
He hands her one of the drinks and sits down with the other. You remember? I'm honored.
How could I forget? You're the only Klingon who drinks something besides blood wine. Or prune juice.
Prune juice?
Forget it.
Quark and Grilka raise their glasses.
To the House of Grilka, may it continue to be as strong and proud as this lady is beautiful.
You may not have been the ideal husband, but you were an excellent bartender.
I know of no greater compliment. So, what brings you to my humble establishment? Business or pleasure?
The recent hostilities between the Federation and the Empire have been very costly to my family. We have suffered great losses in ships, lands, warriors.
War. What is it good for? If you ask me, absolutely nothing.
The financial cost was significant.
I have an idea. Why don't I take a look at your financial records? I know that's not why you're here. I'm sure it's simply a social visit. But maybe I could help.
Very well. If it pleases you, I will allow you access to the records.
Thank you.
Grilka and Tumek leave. Thopok slams his hands down on Quark's shoulders, getting unnecessarily close to Quark's giant ears to issue his threat. I guess he doesn't know the Ferengi have superb hearing.
Hear this, Ferengi. How Grilka and you live, fail, and I will kill you myself.
We focus on Ops. Worf and Dax are on the turbolift. She is explaining what happened between Quark and Grilka.
And even though it was an accident, Quark took credit for killing Grilka's husband.
Why?
As a way of boosting business at the bar, and it worked. But then Grilka kidnapped Quark and took him back to the Klingon homeworld and married him.
Why?
I'm getting to that. As a woman, Grilka was forbidden to lead her house. By marrying Quark, she was able to retain control through him. Eventually, she convinced the council to give her control, and she divorced Quark on the spot. As far as I know, that's the last time they saw each other.
A marriage of convenience.
Certainly for Grilka. I'm not sure how convenient it was for Quark.
His opinion is of no consequence. He is unworthy of a prize such as she.
Worf, it sounds like you have a bad case of Parmak.
Is that contagious?
Captain Sisko comes out of his office and throws his baseball at Dax.
Parmak is the Klingon word for love, but with more aggressive undertones.
Love? Worf?
Stranger things have happened.
Especially around here.
And that's it for Sisko in this episode.
What?
We focus on the infirmary. O'Brien is with Bashir, who is working on a respirator to ease Kira's pregnancy symptoms.
This should alleviate Kira's sneezing.
Shard.
But Bajoran women have been sneezing their way through pregnancy for over 100,000 years. You can't expect me to cure it overnight.
Bashir heads to his shelves to collect a few more things and changes the subject.
You know, I heard a rumor. The Jerrys may be trying to cross the channel this evening. Maybe we should have a surprise waiting for them.
O'Brien sniffs the respirator and sneezes.
Serves you right.
I can't go to the Hollow Suite tonight. Kira and I have some things to work out.
Still fighting, eh?
Who said we are fighting?
Word gets around. It's a small station.
It's a huge station.
Obviously not that huge.
Well, for your information, we weren't fighting.
Glad to hear it. Here are some Bajoran Takeo herbs for Kira's swollen ankles. She'll need to dissolve them in some kind of fruit juice before ingesting them.
I hope they taste better than the Makara herbs you gave her.
Are you sampling all her medications?
No, not at all. Kira didn't like the taste. Oh, by the way, I almost forgot. She had a rash on the back of her thighs. You have a salve or something?
How long has she had it?
Oh, well, I noticed it yesterday when I was helping her out of the bathtub. So she had it for at least a day.
Helping her out of the tub.
Well, she's living in my house.
My house.
She's having my baby.
So, did you look?
What? Oh, please. I was holding a towel up in front of her.
How does Keiko feel about you helping Kira out of the tub?
Keiko feels fine about it. You see, we are adults. We're developing a close, mature relationship.
I'm sure that Keiko and Kira have, but you...
What about me?
I bet you looked.
O'Brien grabs the herbs out of Bashir's hand and storms off. We focus on Quark's bar. Grilka, Tumek, and Thopok are at a table. Worf enters, sees Grilka is there, and heads over to Morn, who is sitting in his usual stool and signaling the bartender for a refill. Seriously, does that dude ever shut up? Worf gets close and speaks very quietly.
I will apologize for this at another time. You are in my seat!
Worf grabs Morn and throws him off his seat and sits down.
Bartender! Blood wine! What is that smell? Is there a pile of rotting Forshock in here?
Worf turns and looks at Thopok.
Or is it you? Stand when I talk to you!
Worf goes to the table, throwing chairs out of his way.
Or do you think that it is funny?
Thopok and Worf glare at each other. Tumek shuts that shit down quickly.
Mevyap! Worf, son of Moog, come, join me.
Tumek leads Worf to a quiet corner.
Challenging Thopok to a fight is a waste of time. Grilka cannot mate with you, now or ever. Your house is dishonored. Your name is a curse.
I meant no disrespect.
You showed none. I am sure your motives were honorable. Do not let it trouble you too much. In truth, I doubt it would have been a good match.
Why?
Have you ever pursued a Klingon woman?
No.
There's no shame in that. You were raised by humans. You wear their uniform, you accept their values. How could you know anything about our women?
You'd be surprised what I know.
Perhaps, but we will not find out here. It is the wish of the Lady Grilka that you leave us now, son of Moog, and do not return.
Worf gives Tumek a small nod of the head and walks away, discouraged. We focus on the Defiant mess hall. Worf and Dax are having coffee together.
I am a fool.
You're in love, which I suppose is the same thing. You're making too much out of this, Worf. Tumek said Grilka wasn't offended. She was probably flattered.
There is no flattery in a great lady being courted by a traitor.
Is that what's really bothering you? Or is it that Tumek said that you didn't know anything about Klingon women? Or you're afraid he's right?
Quark enters. Turns out he can just come onto the planet anytime he wants.
What do you want?
I want to talk to Dax, if that's all right with you.
Worf is super annoyed Quark is here. Quark sits down in front of Dax.
I need help. Grilka invited me to dinner, and I need to brush up on Klingon manners and protocol and all that.
She invited you to dinner?
In her quarters. A private dinner. A very private dinner.
Dax and Quark start grinning. Worf gets up and stands by the bulkhead, sulking.
What's wrong with him?
He's having a bad day.
Oh, that's a shame. Well, when Grilka and I were married, there wasn't a lot of affection involved. So what does a Klingon woman expect from a man? Are there any secret Klingon phrases I should know? Or do we just leap on each other like a pair of crazed voles?
Quark, Klingon mating rituals are very involved. It's not just a one-night affair.
2 nights? Whatever. Look, I'm serious. Grilka and I, we have something. I'm not sure what, but I want to pursue it.
For sex.
No. Well, that too. But there's more. She's glorious.
So I hear. Look, if you're serious about this, then you have to take it slow at dinner. No innuendos, no staring at her cleavage.
So what should I do?
You talk. You ask her about her family's history and their accomplishments. She'll consider this a great sign of respect.
Respect? Okay, I can do that. Anything else?
Grilka is from the Mekrovak region. It is customary among her people that a man bring a length of linkta to the first courtship dinner. Make sure it's fresh, as if you have just killed it. Then, use the link to sweep aside the table and declare in a loud voice, I have brought you this. From this day, I wish to provide food for you and your house. All I ask is to share your company and do honor to your name.
Then what?
Well, either she accepts your offer, or she'll have her bodyguard shatter every bone in your body.
Sounds reasonable.
We focus on the O'Brien's quarters, Kira's room. We see a bottle of Bajoran massage oil. O'Brien is massaging Kira's bare legs.
Did your father just sit you down one day and say, right, Miles, it's time to teach you about massaging pregnant women?
It's an O'Brien's survival technique. My mother hated being pregnant. My father's massages. They were the only thing that kept her from killing everyone.
Sounds like me.
Pretty much. She didn't swear, Bajoran, but she used to use these descriptive phrases.
Keiko enters with some clothes and a pair of boots. And since the door was open the whole time, no sound effects are needed.
Are those my uniforms?
Garrick finished the alterations and sent these along. He guarantees the insoles will help your feet.
Ow, ow, ow!
That wasn't very convincing. I think she's actually enjoying it, Miles. You'd better press harder if you want her to suffer.
Harder it is.
Keiko leaves as O'Brien moves on to Kira's lower back.
Ow! You're a sadist, Miles. Edward O'Brien. Was your father this cruel to your mother?
Was. I'd swear sometimes you'd hear the screams halfway across Ireland. The neighbors didn't know whether to be worried or titillated.
Ew. Kira sits up.
Here.
She moves O'Brien's hands up to her shoulders.
You miss Ireland?
You know, if you asked me that a year ago, I would have said no. But lately, I don't know why. I've been daydreaming about my home. Maybe I'm getting nostalgic in my old age.
You've got leave coming. Take 3 weeks and go.
If I left, who give you the foot massages?
Take me along. I can think of worse things than spending 3 weeks in Ireland with you.
Me too.
The massaging stops. O'Brien and Kira realize this is starting to cross into a. Okay. I'm just gonna start again. The massaging stopped. O'Brien and Kira realize that this is starting to cross a line into something a little more than friendship. The consequences of this start to sink in when the oblivious Keiko walks into the room. O'Brien quickly removes his hands from Kira's shoulders.
Don't stop on my account.
All right.
Awkward massaging resumes. We focus on the bridge of the Defiant. Klingon opera is playing through the comm system, and Worf is singing along with the male lead.
Chicade! Lingtoma!
While Worf sings like no one is watching, Quark enters the bridge from behind.
Omodove Kozo!
Worf turns off the music and is maybe a tad embarrassed.
I'm not going to ask. Look, I came here to thank you for last night. Grilka loved it. All of it. Everything I did, everything I said was perfect.
So, I know nothing about Klingon women.
She said I had the heart of a Basai master, whatever that is.
It is a poet.
A poet? I guess I can live with that.
What else happened?
Well, she spent about an hour talking about her family history, a rather long and bloody tale. But what else is new? Then we ate Grilka, which tasted really bad, listened to some noise that she called on music, and I left.
A perfect evening.
Almost. Her bodyguard was giving me threatening looks all night.
That is to be expected. The idea of a Ferengi courting a great lady is offensive.
You know, it's attitudes like that that keep you people from getting invited to all the really good parties.
The heart of a Basai master. She said that.
Could I make that up? I'm telling you, Worf, she responded perfectly. You really have the key to this woman's heart. The question is, can you help me unlock it?
Yes, I can. We have work to do.
We focus on the holosuite, the Klingon Hall of Warriors. Quark and Dax are dressed as Kahless the Unforgettable and Lady Lucara. As they fight Klingon warriors, Worf paces around like a high school drama teacher. Dax finishes off her opponent. Quark is not as adept with the Batleth and is losing severely.
Quark!
The program freezes. Dax signals an upward thrust. Quark takes the hint and kills his opponent when the program resumes. Dax recites her line as Lady Lucara while Quark tries to catch his breath.
Mova Aki Rostak!
Worf tries to prompt Quark's next line.
Koshtama!
Toma Epa Lucar Kavir.
Ishtovi Chatating Nook!
Besh Opera Gri Uncha Besh Opera Gri Uncha Ma Te Do Komasha.
Enough! You say the words, but there is no feeling behind them, no passion.
Having to learn all this Klingonese isn't helping my performance.
Do not think of it as a performance. Believe in where you are. Put yourself in this place, in this time. 1,000 years ago, the dawn of the Empire. 500 warriors stormed the Great Hall at Kamchi. The city garrison fled before them. Only the Emperor Kahless and the Lady Lucara stood their ground. It was here that they began the greatest romance in Klingon history.
This is ridiculous.
Ah!
I'm surrounded by corpses, my shoes are dripping in blood, and you want me to feel romantic? Well, why am I putting myself through this?
Because later that night, Kahless and Lucara jumped on each other like a pair of crazed voles. Arr!
Yeah? One more time.
We focus on Odo's security office. Odo and Kira are going through security reports.
This is the fourth threat of equipment from Upper Pylon 3 this month.
I don't know how they keep doing it. We've changed the security protocols 3 times now.
It's not the security arrangements that are at fault here. It's our friend, the Chief of Operations.
Miles? What did he do?
It's what he's not doing. He still hasn't finished upgrading the structural integrity field on Upper Pylon 3, so half the bulkheads are torn open. child could find a way into those cargo bays.
Look, Miles is a very busy man. He can't be everywhere at once.
Sometimes it seems as though he's not anywhere at all.
He's doing a superb job under very difficult circumstances.
Growing fond of the chief, are we?
What are you talking about? I've always liked Miles.
You've always liked the chief, but Miles is a different story.
Look, I'm living with him. I'm carrying his baby. I'm pretending he's Irish. Don't you think that might change things a bit?
So,
We're closer. It's like I'm part of his family.
which part? The Irish part?
What?
Which part of the family, his family, are you? Sister, daughter, cousin, Irish cousin?
Could we concentrate on the criminal activities report?
Well, of course. And I'll refrain from making any further disparaging remarks about the chief. I mean, Miles.
Irish Miles.
We focus on Quark's bar. Tumek and Thopok wait for Grilka to come out of the holosuite with Quark. Thopok is agitated and pacing.
This consulting with a Ferengi is outrageous!
Oh, is it my line?
It's your line, yeah.
Oh my god, I'm lost. Sorry, I had to go grab a baby.
You disorder your house!
I'm so lost. My bad, guys.
Number 34.
Okay.
Klingons are never
This
lost.
isn't. It's a good thing this isn't live. Okay. Okay, I'm here. You forget yourself, Thopok. You are commander of the ladies. Is this the right one?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
You are commander of the ladies' guard, nothing more. Do not presume to judge her.
Quark and Grilka come downstairs in costume, laughing. I said laughing! Laughing! Ha 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 ha! Tumek! My parry and ale for two.
Mistress.
You are an interesting man.
I've always thought so.
Not much of a fighter, of course. Fortunately for you, they were only hollow warriors.
Well, it's the thought that counts.
Yes, it is. And what are your thoughts, Quark? Why play out one of the most romantic scenes in Klingon literature for me? Why learn to speak Klingon and observe our customs? Why do you pursue me?
I only pursue those things I wish to acquire.
Acquire? Now you sound like a Ferengi again.
I am a Ferengi. That means I have a talent for appreciating objects of great value. And I believe you may be worth more than all the latinum in the quadrant.
When Grilka hears this, all 8 chambers of her heart melt.
Jesus.
My Kalis.
My Lucara.
Thopok loses his shit and throws the table over and Quark with it.
No!
Mavya! Thopok!
Forgive me, mistress, but I cannot watch this any longer. I will not protect a house where you are welcome, Ferengi. You are a coward and a liar, and you have no honor. So tomorrow you will kill me, or I will kill you.
We focus on the O'Brien's quarters. O'Brien and Keiko are sitting on the couch, having a drink and listening to some music.
I'm 2 hours early. You'd better watch it. I'll get used to this.
Yep. They don't need me anymore. Home at 1700 every evening.
You're such a bad liar.
Yeah, it's not like he needs to finish calibrating the structural integrity field on Upper Pylon 3 or anything. Kira enters and breaks up their kiss.
Hi.
Hi. Sit down. You look exhausted. Bad day. Miles, I think this woman needs one of your famous neck massages.
O'Brien and Kira both look very uncomfortable at the suggestion.
My hands are pretty cold.
I'm not in the mood anyway.
I can see the tension in your muscles from here.
No thanks, really. I'm going to Bashir tomorrow, just for a few days.
Bashir?
Yes, I thought I'd take the time and relax. A friend of mine has a house in Musala province. It's quiet, remote, no distractions.
Perfect when you leave.
First thing in the morning.
Keiko starts to panic.
What? Wait a minute. You can't go alone. What if you go into labor?
Well, Julian doesn't think that's going to happen for another month.
But he doesn't know for sure. Miles, maybe you should go with her.
What?
I can't go. I have a botanical pathology seminar tomorrow, but you said yourself things are slow in ups.
She's right, O'Brien. You did say that.
I don't think that's such a good idea.
Me neither.
Miles Edward O'Brien! Are you going to let the woman carrying your unborn child go on a trip all by herself?
Kira and O'Brien look panic-stricken.
Are you two fighting again?
No.
Not at all.
Good! Then it's settled. Miles, let's pack your bag.
We focus on the Defiant mess hall. Quark is discussing his Thopok predicament with Dax and Worf.
What if I just do what I did last time a Klingon wanted to kill me? I throw my sword away, kneel down in front of him, and dare him to execute me. Yeah, he'll be humiliated and slink away like a scalded targ.
The only reason that worked was because Gowron stepped in and restrained your opponent before he was able to kill you. No one will stop Thopok. Dax and I aren't even able to attend.
So my choices are to not show up, be branded a coward, and lose Grilka, or die?
Yes.
Oh, come on now. There has to be another way out of this. You people have rituals for everything except waste extraction. You must have a ceremony or a secret handshake or something I can do.
I have an idea.
We focus on an empty holosuite. Quark and Dax are fighting with batleths. In a transformation quite unlike himself, Quark is wearing a Ferengi headdress and fighting like a badass. Worf is beside them, fighting an invisible foe. His movements mirror Quark's. He is wearing some sort of flashing device on his shoulders. Quark uses his batleth to spin Dax's out of her hands and holds the tip of his up to her throat.
Oh, congratulations. How do you feel?
Quark brings his hand up to his neck, rubbing it. Worf has turned off his device so that Quark has control over his own movements again.
Like a puppet. And I have some complaints for the puppeteer. You nearly wrenched my arm out of its socket.
The movement would not hurt if you were in better physical condition.
Exercise makes me sweat.
You need to get some sleep.
She turned off a device under his headdress.
If your body's tired tomorrow, Worf won't even be able to save you.
Bedtime?
Mm-hmm.
Quark leaves the holosuite.
I cannot believe the lengths I'm going to for that Ferengi. I'm practically giving him Grilka.
What is it you see in her anyway? I mean, she's attractive. But other than that?
It is everything about her. The way she carries herself, confident and strong. She commands those around her. The proud tilt of her head, the way her face betrays none of her true feelings, the power of her voice and her eyes, as hard as Separ gemstones and twice as sharp.
It sounds like you're describing a statue. What would you do with a woman like that? Put her up on a pedestal and clean her every week?
You do not understand.
If I were in your shoes, I would be looking for someone a little more entertaining, a little more fun, maybe even a little more attainable.
You are not in my shoes.
Too bad. You'd be amazed at what I can do in a pair of size 18 boots.
We focus on an empty adjacent holosuite. Worf is wearing the VR device and has a batleth. Dax uses her tricorder.
He's in position.
We focus on another holosuite. It is programmed to look like the Hall of Warriors. Quark enters the holosuite wearing a Klingon warrior's outfit. Tumek, Grilka, and Thopok are waiting.
Quark, son of Keldar, why are you here?
To answer.
Worf takes control and swings the batleth.
To answer the challenge of Thopok, to prove my honor and win the favor of the Lady Grilka.
The challenge has been given and accepted. Let no one interfere. Mock!
Thopok thrusts and Quark parries.
Where did you learn to fight with a batleth?
I'm a man of many talents.
Quark. Worf? Quarf? They attack. We focus on the empty holosuite. Worf is showing off and damages his device. We focus on the holosuite Hall of Warriors. Quark is on his own. Thopok raises his batleth in attack.
No, wait!
We focus on the empty holosuite. Dax is scanning the control device.
You damaged the optronic relay.
Can you repair it?
I don't know.
We focus on the holosuite Hall of Warriors.
Well,
I claim the right of proclamation.
I've never heard of the right of proclamation.
It's a Ferengi custom.
it has no place here.
I beg to differ. I am as proud of my heritage as you are of yours, and I will not be denied the opportunity to express myself according to Ferengi custom.
He has shown respect to our traditions. We will do the same. What do you need to do?
I must make a speech.
About what?
About you.
Get on with it.
We focus on the empty holosuite. Worf is scanning the wall that separates the two holosuites.
I do not know how, but he is still alive. You must work faster.
I'm going as fast as I can.
We focus on the holosuite Hall of Warriors.
To this end, my blade soars through the aquarium of my soul, seeking the kelp of discontent, which must be cut so that the rocky bottom of love lie in waiting with fertile sand. For the coming seed of Grilka's affection, and yet, does this explain my need for her? No. It's like a giant cave of emptiness, waiting for the bats of love to hang by.
The bats of love? With that, Worf regains control.
Well, I guess that's enough talking. Now back to the fighting.
We focus on the empty holosuite.
No showing off this time, Worf. Just get it over with.
I was not showing off!
We focus on the holosuite, Hall of Warriors. Quark disarms Thopok and knocks him to the ground.
End it.
If you insist.
Quark raises his batleth above his head, bloodlust in his eyes. He tries to bring the batleth down to the dishonored body of his enemy, but he cannot. Worf makes him stop.
Maybe not.
Worf forces Quark to bend down in front of Thopok's sword.
Maybe I'll just pick up your sword?
He is led by Worf over to Grilka. He kneels in front of her, puts down his own batleth at her feet, and presents Thopok's to her.
And I give it to you, I guess.
Thopok, your honor is satisfied. I return your weapon and discharge you from my house. Grilka throws his batleth. He catches it and bows. Tumek gives Quark a long look and turns to Grilka.
My lady.
With a bow, Tumek leaves the holosuite with Thopok. Grilka grabs Quark by the shoulders. Domak! Aki! Gos! Epach! Quark grabs her throat. She starts to throttle him in return. Back in Worf's holosuite, Dax shuts down the device. Under his own power again, Quark yells.
Yeah!
He falls over, taking Grilka down with him. She falls on top of him, but neither seem to mind. We focus on the empty holosuite.
Congratulations, you did it.
What does she see in that parasite?
Who knows? But they're on the same wavelength. At least Quark can see an opportunity when it's standing in front of him.
He would have to be blind not to see it.
She's obviously not talking about Quark and Grilka anymore. Worf, who never has done well picking up romantic subtleties, still does not get the hint. Exasperated, Dax decides to finally take matters into her own hands.
Mova Aki Rostok. Computer. Batleth. Mova Aki Rostok.
Koshtava Ipak Kaiver Lukara.
Ista Tovi Chitating Nook.
Dax raises her batleth and brings it down, blocked by Worf.
Meklavosh Kamesh.
Tedok Rus Kamak To.
Meshta.
Mesto.
Worf gets the batleth off Dax, but she throws him to the floor. She does not like being corrected, so she straddles him and they begin to choke each other. We focus on a runabout cockpit. Kira is waiting as Miles comes aboard. The awkwardness has not subsided.
So I guess we going.
Looks like it.
Tell me about this house we going to.
It's a gorgeous 200-year-old cottage filled with antiques sitting in the middle of a deep, dark forest. It's got 3 fireplaces, 2 balconies.
I see.
It's 20 kilometers to the nearest neighbor, 30 to the nearest town.
Why am I not surprised?
It gets worse. There's a view
What?
of the Halana River. You can see it from every room in the house. At night, when the stars are out and you can only hear rushing water, it may be one of the most romantic spots in all of Bajor.
That's it. I'm not going. I don't care what Keiko says. I'm not going. You go. I'll wait an hour and then I'll tell her that you left without me, that there was a miscommunication about the departure time.
You think she'll buy it?
She'll probably accuse us of having another fight, of behaving like children. I can handle it. The important thing is that we don't go anywhere near that place together.
You're absolutely right. In fact, I'm going to go to the capital and see Shakar.
That's the best idea you had all week.
They hug.
Have a good trip.
Thanks.
It would have been nice.
In another life.
Let's not even think about it.
All right. Let's not. Miles?
Yes, Ness.
Get out.
Right.
We focus on the infirmary. Kira is not there, despite the fact that she is now a nurse. Quark is battered, bruised, and happy. Bashir is scanning him.
Michael, take Bashir for this.
Compound fracture of the right radius, 2 fractured ribs, torn ligaments, strained tendons, numerous contusions, bruises, and scratches. What have you been doing?
You mean, what have we been doing?
Quark turns to Grilka, who is at his bedside. Both begin to laugh.
Never mind. I don't need that particular image running around in my head. I'll just treat you.
Dax and Worf enter. His hair is disheveled and they're both covered in scratches and contusions. Dax has Worf's baldric draped over her shoulder.
Again.
What happened to you two?
We,
Well, if you must know,
No, I don't need that image either. In fact, I'm going to stop asking that question altogether. People can come in, I will treat them, and that's all. Please have a seat. I'll be with you in a minute.
Worf and Dax limp to a biobed. They can barely sit down.
you do realize that according to Klingon tradition,
we have to get married.
but as you keep insisting, you are not a traditional woman.
The truth is, Worf, at heart, you're not much of a traditional man.
You might be right. How do you wish to proceed?
I don't know.
You must have some idea. You were the...
Aggressor?
Yes. And now there are questions that must be answered.
Dax gets in between Worf's legs and wraps his arms around her waist.
I don't feel like answering questions. Why don't we just take it one day at a time and see what happens?
I do not like the uncertainty of that arrangement.
One thing's for certain. You've stopped thinking about Grilka.
And that is right. Honor to our house is being restored. Hey, everybody. That was a lot of fun. Oh my God, Mott, you fucking killed me in this one with that accent. I was not ready. No. Okay, just give Jane a second to. I think you're doing this a bit. There you go. Hey, what's up? So that was our reading of Looking for Parmok in All the Wrong Places from Deep Space Nine's 5th season. Sorry, I'm just trying to get my bearings here. And so I was playing Worf. My wife Jane was playing Dax. We had Kevin and Ashley. Kevin playing Quark. Ashley was Grilka, as well as our narrator. Michael was in a bunch of roles, including some not planned. He was Thopok and Cisco and Keiko. And then you were Bashir for the end because we lost Davan along the way. I think he had to go tend with the baby. Jessica Chan playing Kira. Great job to all. And last but not least, Mott. Oh my God, Mott. It was all I could not to laugh. And I wasn't even having to play off of you at all. Like Jessica.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
She started laughing. I could hear Kevin laughing in the back. And like I'm trying to hold my lines together. Like I'm have tears in my eyes.
We all did. We weren't even in the scene.
I went from Chicago gangster to Jersey Shore to cowboy.
For a while, he was like if Forrest Gump and Arnold Schwarzenegger had a baby.
He was not a particular dialect.
I don't even know. None of my Starfleet training prepared me for this.
Oh my God, so friggin' funny.
We've had a lot of discussion on Deep Space Nine at 9ish on Tuesday nights about when Bashir was replaced by
Changeling
Bashir, and I think it is now canon that it was partway through this episode.
It was partway through. He was abducted and replaced here.
Replaced, yeah.
Yeah. So Davan, he had to go over the baby, and then I thought he was back, but then he disappeared again. And so I took over Tumek, but I was just kind of doing my Klingon voice, which is kind of the same voice I do for Worf. So I hope that wasn't too distracting for the listeners.
Nope.
We'll figure it out for the edited version. Oh my God, this is a great story. I love doing this story. I hope you guys enjoyed it too. Had fun with it. Mott, had you ever seen this episode before? Before we did this?
I think I did see it once before because I was like some episode we watched in the past. I kind of like to watch a couple before and a couple after just to kind of see what's going on in the whole realm of things. And I think I came across it.
What did you think? Did you like it?
Oh yeah, it had a lot of fun, a lot of sexiness going on.
Sexiness. Yeah. We kind of picked this one because it was for a season 3 premiere. It would be like a Valentine's Day sort of theme, a love kind of theme, just it's a lot of
love
talking.
Triangle though. I mean,
love triangle, the math of love triangles. Yes, there was a few because I was pursuing Ashley's character for most of it, but I was dishonored, so I couldn't go after that. So and then Dax was like, "Hey, someone more attainable. I'm right here." And then the love triangle in the O'Briens, the battle.
Keiko just kept pushing.
Yeah, Keiko's like, "You need to take her to Bashir, to a very romantic spot," and she
and give her massages.
Yeah,
it's all fine.
Understanding why
she just wanted to be alone with her plants. That's what.
I have a botanical seminar tomorrow
in Sabar. She just wants to visit Sabar.
She wants to be alone with her plants in Sabar.
Yeah, Sabar's coming to the station, so it works out fine. But because if you remember the one we did, Fascination, go back to your plants in Sabar and Bashir. See if I care, right? Oh my God! I think the Mott O'Brien is a new thing.
Yep,
for this season.
Yep, must come back
for sure.
Please.
We will need this again, Mott. I'm telling you
for sure.
Yeah, and then so I wanted to also mention Michael Chan recently on Star Trek Discovery, his 8th episode of season 4. It was called All In. If you have not seen that yet, you need to see it. He's early in the episode, hoping to see more of your character. I hope he gets a name in the near future too. And just we're thrilled that you are on the show and you're in the Star Trek universe for real.
Yeah. Are you going to start paying me for this now?
I got nothing. We don't use money in the 24th century. It's kind of different, you know. So it's talk to Quark though. Kevin.
You were on this first. You signed your contract.
Yeah, but
No
yeah,
latinum for you.
No latinum. It's all Federation credits, which you can turn in somewhere. But yeah, so awesome for you to be on that show. Like we all knew it would come eventually. It was just it's so nice to have it, and then eventually someone's gonna get to play you in a radio theater.
I can't wait to see who it is.
Jane called dibs.
Oh wow! Oh wow!
No.
Okay, I cannot wait to hear you say my lines.
You don't want Mott?
Yeah, I think Mott should do
It should be.
Oh my god, Irish.
Yeah.
I think Jessica should do it.
It's not Mott's performance. That was
That episode I think will make a good radio theater because it's mostly just a poker game, that episode. So it's
That episode's really good.
It's good. It was good.
Yeah, just a lot. It's because I feel like the radio theater format works best for an episode like this. There's not a ton of action, even though there was like some sword fights in this episode. It's here and there, and it's not too hard to follow.
It's got to be a good episode. Live long and podcast it. Give it 10s all across.
We did, except for Jeff Mader.
We were all in. Jeff is not on that podcast, so it's fine.
Oh, right. No,
he doesn't count.
You mean the Discovery episode?
The Discovery episode.
Yeah, no, we all loved. Yeah, we were like, well, it's Michael in it, so it's a perfect episode. But I bet that when we talked about this episode on the D9 podcast a few weeks ago, and we were all like, "This is the best. We got to do this as a radio theater." Except for Jeff's like, "I don't like it," and we're like, "Well, you can sit this one out."
Yeah, we were all like 10s and 9.5, and Jeff's like, it's like a 6.
Ooh. He's got baby brain. He doesn't count.
He's got baby brain. That's right.
He did actually sleep through the entire episode of Deep Space Nine at 9. Just to come back at the end and rate it a 6.
Yeah, it was this great podcast where we're like, this was such a great episode. We all talk about it. And then he comes because he wasn't even there to start it. So I had to host the podcast. And then he shows up at the end just to tell us he hates it.
What about you guys with the whole, Worf Dax thing? Did you they probably saw that coming for some time, but like that was kind of like confirmed. They finally,
she had to be the aggressor in order.
Yeah, I was going for episodes before that. She had it.
Oh yeah. She even from their very first meeting in the beginning of season 4, like she's clearly I think they were planning to do that, but they took their time with it, which was nice too. Because they've been together on this show for about a season at this point.
She was always way into him and always,
Yeah, it was good. It was it was a bit of a fantasy for me to get to play it out as Worf and Dax for this one. If you couldn't tell, I hope I haven't done Worf in a while. I hope it was good.
It was good. Really good.
Yeah,
you got like the intonations and everything.
Did you like my Klingon opera?
Oh my god, yes.
It was better than Worf's.
Yeah,
I thought you sounded well because you can sing. You should have
yeah.
You sounded good.
Oh, good. Maybe I have a new career as a Klingon opera tenor.
Let's not get crazy, Dave.
Look, you didn't wake that baby up, so good.
Yeah, I didn't wake the baby up, so I didn't break any windows, so that's all right. Yeah, so anyway, lots of fun. We'll come off for the podcast, but just wanted to say thrilled to share this experience with you. We will edit this down. We have to edit this down because there was a couple missed lines and things anyway, and we got to get Davan to re-record some of his lines because I do want to put him back in this, but even if he's changeling. Anyway, Guess what? We have our next episode of Radio Theater. I won't be a Klingon for that. And we got that coming up on March 5th, everybody. We're going to be doing episode 2 of Radio Theater. And guess what? We got a special announcement. Coming back is Steve Shives from his own channel on YouTube, self-titled. He's a YouTube, does a lot of Star Trek podcasts, but not exclusively. He talks about a lot of different things, wrestling and a lot of politics and different things. Anyway, he's we're here. How do I make this big? Like that. Here we go. So this will be on March 5th, 2022. Jodie Simpson coming back to play Q for this one. This is the episode Hiding Q from Next Generation's first season. I'll be playing Picard. We got Steve Shives as Riker again, as he did in season 2 when we did Samaritan Snare. He also played Riker in that one. This is pre-Beard Riker. Given the powers of the Q. Michael Chan, you will be Data. We got Jessica Chan as Lieutenant Tasha Yar, pre-death. Jeff Mader will be coming as Geordi LaForge, a helmsman, Geordi LaForge. And Mott, you're going to be Worf for this one, a red shirt Worf. Jane, you got Beverly Crusher. And Kevin, you got 2 versions of Wesley to do, same voice in either case, but... And Ashley will be narrating. No character for Ashley in this one because aside from like the 3 characters at the top, Q, Picard, and Riker, the rest of these characters are sprinkled in. This feels more like an original series episode than not, but I think this will tie in well with the beginning of Picard season 2, which is set to start that first week of March. Premiere about a day or 2 before this, so that's the reason we're doing this particular episode, and it's just a lot of people talking. It will work really well for our format as well. So really excited to be doing that with the whole gang here in just a couple of weeks, I guess. What is that? In like 2 weeks we'll be doing that. So turning around. And then in April, I'm thinking maybe we do the episode Darmok for first to correspond with First Contact Day. Darmok and Jalad at Tanagra, if you don't know what I'm talking about. So trying to have like a theme, trying to do a radio theater once a month is kind of the goal here. Also check out our other content here on Live Long and Podcast. Tuesday or Monday nights, we talk about Star Trek Enterprise. There's Kevin Millard and I and Jodie Simpson and Adam Woodward. We're going through all the episodes in order. We're now into like episode 12, I think, of season 1. We just talked about the episode Silent Enemy recently. And check that out every Monday night. We'll be following along as the show is supposed to get better. So Jodie. So says Jodie.
This is what we're told. That's why we keep going.
This is why we keep going. Yeah. On Tuesday nights, Star Trek Deep Space Nine rewatch series. We are into season 5, as mentioned a few times tonight. We did this one not too long ago. Tomorrow's Tuesday's episode this week will be Trials and Tribulations, the one where they go back to the original series and cross over with that episode. We did that as a radio theater. Feels like a million years ago. But it was like our second or third outing we ever did as radio theater. So that exists, and we'll be talking about that on Tuesday night. Really excited for that one. And then Thursday, we often continue our whatever is the newest show. So I was doing with Jessica and Davan. We were talking about Star Trek Prodigy into late 2021 and early 2022. Then Star Trek Discovery came back to continue its 4th season, and Michael Chan was on the show, and I'm talking to Michael Chan while he's on the show. And with Adam Woodward and Ashley Millard. So that continues. We got another 4 episodes, I think, for season 4 of Star Trek Discovery. Star Trek Picard is right on the horizon, as mentioned. That will be starting early March. There'll be a bit of crossover with that one. And then Star Trek Strange New Worlds coming even after that in May. There's a new Star Trek movie with Chris Pine and J.J. Abrams and all them are coming back to do another movie there. So it's the year of Star Trek, in some ways. It's big, lots of new content coming out. There'll be a new Lower Decks later this year as well, presumably. So lots going on here. Live Long and Podcast. Love Star Trek, and we love talking about it. We also have another channel, Super Mater Brothers Podcasting. That's Jeff and I and Jameel and a few others who talk about different things not related to Star Trek, mostly movies and TV. We talk about Ozark, we talk about Marvel, we talk about reality shows like Big Brother and Survivor. Right now doing Celebrity Big Brother 3. We got only one more podcast. We'll be covering that finale Wednesday. New season Survivor on the horizon. We got Doctor Strange we're going to be talking about. So check out all that over at Super Mater Brothers Podcasting. Plus Trivial Debates, a monthly show where we argue about movies, TV, sports in a game show format. We got Jeff Mader hosting the next edition on February 27th, the next Sunday. The questions are in, people, and it is exciting. I'm just stalling for time. What other questions? We got a movie question. What is the worst movie with the best musical score soundtrack that elevates it to be a great movie? I love Jeff's questions. Anyway,
there's only one answer. And only Jeff knows it.
Only Jeff knows it. Yes, it's much like a Seymour answer. And then his wild card question is, what winter Olympic event is the most irrelevant? Well, all of them. Well, it's too bad. You should give Jody, Jamil, or Max Duda, the three contestants, a heads up about this because they will be arguing about it come next Sunday. So excited for that. That will be our episode 2.
Yeah.
No, it's got to be like, I think it's like mixed doubles and curling or something like that. But anyway, that's it. Right. Check out Davan's podcast. He's got Locutors of Trek, his own Star Trek podcast. Plus, he's got X-Men X-Rated, where he talks about X-Men the Animated Series, doing a rewatch podcast. He's got the creators, guys, of X-Men the Animated Series coming onto his podcast this Tuesday. The original creators of that cartoon. If you've never seen it, it's phenomenal. It's excellent, and he's going to be interviewing both of them. They're a husband and wife team, and so I was supposed to be on Tuesday. I got bumped. Can you believe it? So
yeah.
For the creators, yeah,
the creators of X-Men. I don't know. And then I'll be on the next week to talk about. I think we're talking about the season 2 premiere after that on X-Men X-Rated the following Tuesday. And what else? Did I miss anything? Eamon Mater. He's a son of mine. He's my only son, actually. And
A son.
He's a son. He's got his own podcast. He does under his alias Sam Jerka. It's called Let's Talk About Fighting Games. They have a new episode just come out on February 12th. He does that with his friend Sonic Smash Bros. Seth and someone named Paranoia. They delve into everything about fighting games, from the first step in fighting games to the top level majors, from Street Fighter V to Dragon Ball Fighter Z, and the best and worst parts of fighting games, as well as everything in between. So
Sam Jerka, what's that from?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
Dragon Ball Z is the most Canadian thing I have ever heard you say.
Is it showing? Is it really yeah. All right. And with that, I think we can sign off for tonight. Thanks so much to this cast and the crew for bringing this all together. Thanks to Ashley and Kevin for bringing the script together. And sorry, Davan, that we lost you for the this recording, but we understand duty calls. Glad that Gus was able to get through the podcast relatively. And with that, I think maybe we'll come off with some tunes, maybe, to take us away. I just gotta find it. I gotta go to the 20s. Say something, Jane.
Oh,
okay.
Is this a cinnamon banana situation?
No. I sometimes I'm not. Okay, here we go. Chicane. Good night. Live long podcast.